Judith Falloon-Reid, and I am an author, filmmaker, writer-director. I've been a writer for pretty much all my life, and I've written in pretty much every genre. Newspaper, been a columnist, travel writing, books, ghostwriter, children's books, self-help, screenplays, plays. Yeah, I'm also a poet and a very active part of CARICON and anything that has to do with the literary scene.
Gotcha. That's nice. Just kind of wanted to start out like, what does the word Caribbean mean? Where do we get that word from? Because like the Rastas say, carried us away from a, different. So what is that word that we're trying to associate with?
Well, for me, being Caribbean is more than just a location. It is firstly the location, being from anywhere that touches the Caribbean Sea. Whether it's South America, Central America, North America, because parts of North America touch the Caribbean Sea, or any of the islands that touch the Caribbean Sea. So that's important to me. But it's also about culture, because we have so many Caribbean people who are second and third and fourth generation who were not born anywhere near the Caribbean Sea.
That's right.
But they're of Caribbean parentage or heritage. Their grandparents, somebody was Caribbean and taught them how to be a Caribbean person. They've learned our foods, they grew up hearing our sayings and being Caribbean in spirit. And so for me, being Caribbean is about more than just the location. It's about being a Caribbean person in spirit and in heritage and who we are as a people.
That's right. Yeah, I just wonder if that word had some type of meaning. Like, where did we get that word
Well,
from?
I think, and I guess we gotta wait for that to pass.
That's what LA means.
Yeah, but the word Caribbean, and I'm not a historian, but to my understanding, came from the Carib Indians, because the Carib Indians were one of the Indians that used to be along the South American, Central American area and in the islands. Mm-hmm. And my understanding is that it has something to do with the Carib Indians. So this is the Caribbean area and the Caribbean Sea, which is where the Carib Indians were.
Makes sense.
Again, I'm not a historian. So
makes sense. Yeah. And then just a question about identity, who we are here in America. Like, it seemed like when I was younger, like I used to get teased a lot by American kids, like for being from a different country, and that caused me to like want to stray away from the culture. Like your book, she tried to name her son Dante. How do we get back?
I think, to be honest with you, so I came to America as an adult. My kids were already 12 and 10 when I moved to America. So I came here as an adult. But my whole family was already here. I had traveled back and forth a lot. And until you live in America as a Caribbean person, been here for a while, you don't really understand the struggles of the African American. And that our struggles are actually different. And we're actually seen different. I actually have had people say, well, you're not African American, you're Jamaican, so you're okay. And I'm like, to me, I don't get it. I'm still a black person.
That's right.
And why does we still have the same heritage? We still are from Africa. That's where our descendants, our ascendants came from. And so I think that's part of the struggle. And that's part of what the alienation was all about, was just the idea that Caribbean people would come to this country and to other countries like it, and we excelled in a different way. We were seen in a different way, because although for many of us we were black, we weren't seen as African American, and we were treated in a different way. And that, to me, created some kind of rift between the Caribbean cultures and the African American cultures, because we were not being treated exactly the same way. I have a story from a gentleman, may his soul rest in peace, who was a friend of my dad's, and he moved to the States in the 60s, early 60s, and he always told me the story about how he sat at a lunch counter in Miami, and he was told to get up because he wasn't supposed to be sitting at this lunch counter. And when he opened his mouth and said, "Me nah move," they said, "Oh, you're Jamaican. All right, stay." And he thought that was weird because he was allowed to stay, but the African American counterpart was told to get up and leave.
Yeah.
And he was a golf pro, and it created a rift for him because he was able to caddy and actually do lessons at places that some other people couldn't do it. And because they kind of saw him differently. That may not be everybody's experience, but that was his experience. And so they saw him differently. My experience is that I have had people tell me, "Oh, but you're Jamaican, you're not Black American." And I'm like, yeah, but we're brothers and sisters. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, that's
you know,
right.
we're one country removed, one shade removed. We're all still from Africa. We all still came from enslaved people. So don't get it twisted now.
Yeah.
You know, we're still one people. So I think that that's probably some of what has happened.
What has happened here, huh? Yeah.
But I think getting back, I don't know that the divide is so great anymore. Because I think as Caribbean people, we have come into our own. We have embraced the land that we call our own now.
That's right.
And we have started to really step up and take part in the political process and the educational process and all the processes and make our voices known alongside our African American counterparts, alongside all the other diverse counterparts that we have here. We have stepped alongside and we're working alongside. So I don't know that we're seen so differently anymore.
Yeah, we're not. And it's a weird thing, like with the millennial culture.
Oh, yeah.
They're almost taught to like everyone come as one, as more from a human perspective, and I totally get that. But how do I teach my son about his Belizean roots when he's trying to be a human millennial in America? You see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying. And my daughter has a T-shirt that says "race, human."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Religion, love. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you can do both. I think that it's good that our millennials and whatever other gens that have followed, because I've lost track of the letters.
Yeah.
I'm old enough now to claim losing track. But I think that there is a place where we can say, this is where we are, where everybody's a part of the human race. This is what we want. This is what it should be. But within that, you're also of Belizean culture. And I want you to understand where I'm from. Because understanding where I'm from and your ancestors are from will help you to understand who you are and what you can contribute to this narrative.
That's right.
Because we all bring something to the narrative. And if you're bringing the same thing that the next guy is bringing, then you're not contributing anything different. So I think that might be an approach.
Okay.
So that they see that what they're doing is not separating themselves, but contributing to the narrative, contributing to the whole.
Yeah.
By bringing this little unique thing that's theirs from their ancestry.
That's right.